I'll call this meeting to order. Mr. Griffin, if you will, give the invocation for us.
Father in heaven, thank you for this day. Thank you for the beautiful weather you've sent this way. I ask you to be in your will to send us some rain to go along with it. Now I want to take and ask you to look down on this meeting, give us wisdom and understanding to take care of our city business. Bless our soldiers on the battlefield. Bless our county, city, state, and this United States. All these things we ask in your Son, Jesus Christ's precious name.
Amen. Let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Gentlemen, the agenda is before you. Is there any amendments or additions or anything that you'd like to make with the agenda? Hearing none, I entertain a motion that we accept it.
Offer motion to accept the agenda.
Mr. Johnson made a motion that we accept the agenda as printed. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Persner. Any further discussion relative to the agenda? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the agenda is set. Mr. Bloodworth, I believe that the first item's got your name on it.
You got a new agenda.
What
Yeah, I laid it right there.
Oh, you did?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Mr. Bloodworth. But they provide work plan, remedial action.
Mr. Tasha.
Okay, Natasha, you've got this, I believe.
Just a quick update at the work session last week, you were presented with the plan for installing new gas monitoring probes at the old landfill. The state of Georgia contacted TRC this morning, who in turn contacted me. They are now revising the plan to add a ground monitoring probe on the right-of-way of Amanda Thomas Road. I'm going to be doing a presentation tomorrow morning to the county commissioners to get approval for that installation. They're just going to do one ground monitoring probe at this time because they suspect that the methane has migrated under Amanda Thomas Road. So I've got a meeting tomorrow with the county commissioners to see if they will approve the installation. So I just wanted to give you an update that I was going to be there. And the mayor had already approved for me to go, so, but I wanted to let y'all know.
All right. Any questions about this?
Where's the monitoring well going to be put?
Where ground monitoring probe number 8 is, if you still have that plat that they sent last week, it's going to be directly across the road.
So it'll be on county property?
It'll be on county
rather-
property,
Okay.
yes.
The EPD originally wanted us to go across the road on private property
Okay.
and do it, and, you know, that could open a can of worms.
Right.
We're not fully persuaded it's migrated all the way across the road.
Okay.
So the EPD was willing to allow us to do it on the road right away first.
Okay.
I actually printed the email that Ms. Bennett forwarded to me, and if you look at the back of the last sheet, there's the actual proposed plan location
Is it in
map.
color?
Yes, sir.
It fits in color. You'll see the ones that are marked in green.
Yeah, the green dots are the ones they're going to be installing next week, and the state of Georgia contacted them this morning to add one additional probe.
They'll be on the road right away.
Yes.
Any further questions? Ms. Bennett, if you'll handle that, then we'll take care of whatever you tell us when they get through. I don't think the county will see any problem with that. Anything else relative to this item? Okay, now, Mr. Bloodworth, now you're up.
The application process that we had talked about when someone interested in employment with the city, can they just come in and get an application and leave with it and complete it and bring it back up and have it notarized before they sign it? Because as it stands right now, you have to come up in person and complete the application. You're not allowed to leave with it.
You want to make a motion to incorporate what you want to do?
Yes, I'll make the motion
To do what?
to allow an application to leave the premises of City Hall and be completed for an applicant.
Okay, does the applicant have to return it themselves? Can they mail it or what?
Yes, return it themselves in person.
Unfortunately, they will have to return it themselves, but they cannot mail those applications back in because they have to be delivered to us at City Hall so that we can notarize them and verify that this is the person that signed the application, because we also have to get their identification and driver's license. So it has to be returned in person.
So, Mr. Bloodworth, your motion is that we'll change to the extent that applications can leave and go to the prospective employer, fill them out, they have to return them in person. Is that what
That's
you're?
correct.
Is there a second to Mr. Bloodworth's motion?
Second.
Mr. Purser has seconded the motion. Now we're over for discussion. Any further discussion relative to this matter? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Bloodworth, you've accomplished your objective.
Thank you.
Mr. Bloodworth, you're on again.
I don't know where the chief is. He has the documents that we needed to look at, but, currently, a few officers, or the starting salary for an officer is under $14 an hour. And, we wanted to present this to the council to raise the starting salary of a police officer to $14 an hour.
Raise it to what?
14.
What is it now?
I looked at it, but I don't remember. He was supposed to be here with it so we could discuss it.
All right, why don't we, is he in the process?
He's coming in the door.
Is he in the process of hiring these people now?
There's two who has left, so we don't need to hire two new officers. We need to replace the ones who have left.
Is this something that we need to do now? Is it something that we can incorporate with our budgeting process?
Let's get the chief up to the podium and he can explain.
We were fixing to do business without you.
Where you been? No.
You've been about our
They
business.
make the cases. That's what I've been doing.
Hey, go ahead. We're talking about this, police officers and starting salary.
Okay, I've done a little research. I'm just gonna give you two police departments in the area that's comparable to Hazlehurst. One of them be Baxley, and one of them be Vidalia. Now, yeah, probably Vidalia's a little bigger than we are. Baxley's about the same size, about, typically. Vidalia starts their officers with no experience at $13.55 an hour. Baxley starts theirs with no experience at $14.27 an hour. We're not, I think we're somewhere between $12.50 and $13. And here's what I'm saying. Right now, I got 2 open spots. I got 2 open positions. Good qualified officers are not gonna come here if they can go somewhere else. Now, I can hire somebody. I can hire anybody, but that's not what I want, that's not what you guys are gonna
It
want.
increases
That's not
the
what
liability.
that's not what the citizens are gonna want. My proposal is, and I'm gonna leave it to you guys, that's, y'all handle the money part. I'm just asking to let's get it comparable. At least the starting salary, let's get it comparable to, and I'm not asking to create 2 new positions, I have 2 positions. So it's not money that we're creating salaries, I just,
Have you got officers that you're applying and that you're
I have,
considering?
and I'm gonna run it in the paper next week. I'm gonna start posting it. There's a couple of websites you can post on too for law enforcement. I have 2 positions, but I need to put a starting salary. I need to know what a starting
Well,
salary
we
is.
need to have that posted, and we don't have it with not only your department, with others as well. Now, you've got several officers, that make well beyond what you're talking about now. But you're talking about the entry level.
I'm talking about entry level.
level.
Yes, entry level.
Until we can get a schedule prepared, I think the council would approve you to, would give you some discretion on doing that, I think. But gentlemen, what do you think?
Let me ask a question here too. On the other cities that are paying what they're paying and everything else, do they also pay the officers' benefits for insurance and everything?
Insurance, yes, not family.
No, not
No,
family.
Just the person, yes, insurance, yes.
They do pay their insurances and everything on top. I mean, I'm just asking.
Right. And that makes a difference too,
Right.
you know, and that's
I want y'all to
not
realize-
part-time people.
No.
I want y'all to realize now that most of his officers went well beyond this now. But you understand?
We're not talking about experienced officers, we're
Yeah.
talking about.
I'm talking about somebody right off the street, or right out of the academy.
I tell you what I'd like you to find out for me.
Yes, sir.
For years and years, Steve Land, he told me this before I got on the council, that, you know, we kept on losing police officers to the sheriff's department. That,
Can I stop you right
sure
there?
you can, sure you can. Please do.
I had a man, before I went to chief's training 2 weeks ago, I had a man come turn in an application. He was actually working at Telfair Sheriff's Office, and he wanted to come to work over here, and he knew I had an opening, and I said, I don't want to hire you before I get back from chief training, because there I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, and you know, there would be like limbo, you know. I wanted to be here so when I got back, I called him up. He's went to work at the sheriff's office.
All right, well, here's what Steve used to tell me, and I didn't check on it. But as I understand it, the sheriff's department, and you used to work there, that they were, the way he said it, they were guaranteed a certain amount of overtime. And though they were paid less than what we paid our officers per hour, but with the overtime, they made more money. Is that accurate?
They're guaranteed 10 hours a week.
Overtime, so they're paid time and a half for that.
That's right. And their starting salary now at the sheriff's office is $14.
Well, let me tell you what, the way I understand, this is just my opinion, the history of it is that the city has hired officers, we send them to training, they get trained, and then they leave and go to the sheriff's department because they can make more money. And I don't blame them.
There's a clause now, if you send somebody to the academy, they have to sign a contract and work that amount of money off.
They
So
sign a
they have to
contract.
pay it back.
Yeah, well,
But eventually they can leave, right?
what's happened in the past, what I've understood is,
Yeah.
they'll take and just go ahead and leave regardless then.
I guess I'm saying all this to say this, we're not only in competition with other police departments, we're in competition with the sheriff's department.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just the nature, I'm not complaining about it, I mean, that's just the way it is, and we need to make our salaries competitive if we want to get good officers and keep them.
That's right.
We need to do something,
Better
and,
quality officer.
and so I'm in your ballpark on this, I'm in your game with this, I understand, I don't know what the answer is, but
I think
I want us to do better than what we've been doing in the past.
Ken, what starting or entry-level salary for young officers just out of training or someone coming on board, what would you think the correct or best entry-level hourly rate would be?
I would like to match the sheriff's office at $14, but I mean, you guys would be the ultimate decision.
Well,
on that.
okay.
That's what I would
So
like to
they're
do.
getting 14 plus 10 hours of overtime.
Right.
A month or a week?
A week.
A week.
Should be for.
$15 an hour would be
Yeah.
would be the best starting salary.
What are you saying?
15 an hour.
You want to make that in the form of a motion?
I do.
Make it,
Let's I'd like to talk to Tammy about it, make sure we got the.
well, it's, most officers making more than that, I mean.
Okay.
Can I ask this? If we do that, and that's fine with me, hey, I would love to do that, but if we're doing that, if we have somebody that's already there, that's working the road, I'm not talking about investigator, I'm not talking about office personnel, I'm talking about somebody that works shift. If they're not making that,
If you'll come,
have to.
if you'll come to my
You have
office,
to.
if you'll come into my office, we'll get the payroll and sit down all of your officers for the years of experience and what you've got them doing and everything, and we'll work up a proposal to put to the council to try to get you to the point that you can do that. Now, what I think we're trying to do here now is you're trying to replace 2 officers that you need to put on
Right.
force right now, and this is sort of a temporary move on an entry level. And John's made a motion that we give you the authority to go to $15 an hour. Is there a second to John's motion?
Second.
Second, who's that, Mr. Johnson?
I know I second.
You second.
But I want to talk about it.
Okay, what we going to?
Okay.
Got a motion and a second, now let's talk.
All right. I agree with the mayor's proposal that you come in and sit down, and John, you too. And I'd like the three of y'all to put your heads together and come up with a recommendation before we make a final approval. And if we have to have a call meeting next week, I'm in favor of it. But I just want y'all to take the time to sit down.
Sure.
And talk about it reasonably and come up with a recommendation.
Should have already been done, not only in his department, but all these others as well. It needs to be done. This is just a temporary move, but we'll get what we think.
Okay, so he can go ahead and advertise.
He
I
can
got
go
you.
ahead and do this, and then we're gonna you get with me and John, and we'll get something, and we'll start, since you brought it up first, we'll start with your department, and then we'll see if we can go to the next department next, and begin to get this
I don't
thing
have
in
a
order.
problem with it. I don't have a
All right, we got a motion and a second that we give him temporarily an entry level of $15.
May I?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I just, yeah, I've been trying to get in there. Just a question. This is something that, like I said, we talked to Steve years ago, but we never did do anything. But his concern also is the longevity. You got people here that's been working. Now, you know, I know you're bringing someone else in. Before a straight decision is made, I think that the accountant and y'all all sit down. I know you need the people. Before you bring anybody in and pay them more than you got people here already, because you're asking for trouble.
That ain't gonna happen.
Well,
You're asking that before I hire somebody, I bring it
You
before
get
council.
the account, well, we get the accountant and the
Somebody
mayor
that's
and
already
all,
working there.
before we
That's
start,
below the entry level.
Dwayne's going to appoint.
Yeah.
We need to make sure we
you
can
make sure
appoint this before we
you get it straight before you start paying these new people.
Well, we don't have time to go get the payroll now, but I don't think, I signed it, you know, on a regular basis. I don't think you'll be creating, I don't think that this will bring anybody in higher than the man that's already there. I don't think he's got a man over there that's making, has he? I don't think so either. Not in my judgment, this is below anybody that's over there right now. Now, we'll check it and see, and it's like.
I'm just asking if it does, if there is somebody that.
I'll check on
You
it
know
first
what
thing,
I'm saying
I'll check
there.
on it first thing in the morning. Right now, let's handle the motion we got on the
We're
floor.
going to do everything we can to help.
I appreciate it.
Got a motion on the floor that under a temporary situation for the man to try to move, authorize him to go to 15,000 hours in entry level starting salary. Any further discussion?
Was that 15 or 2?
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I'm sorry.
I'd like to say one more
That was
thing.
$16 an hour.
15.
I'd like to say one more thing, Mayor. And I'd like to ask you guys, bringing somebody in at this kind of money, that's a good salary for law enforcement. It really is. My thing is there a way, and may have to get with Mr. Smith on this, is there a contract that we can draw up that when somebody comes in, they have to give us a year? I mean, is there a legal binding, if we hire somebody at that they've got to?
I think the only thing that'll get us on that would be we are an at-will
We are,
employer.
that's right.
And I don't think we can, I may be wrong, you might want to look and see, but I think being an at-will employer, you can't, unless you contract from the outside, which we don't do, you don't have a contract, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure if you can have part of the department's at will or part not.
Okay.
But, I mean, if we can look at it and see, and I think that's a legitimate concern, it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, but I don't think you need a man on your force that don't want to be here.
And see, that's the good thing about being an at-will employer and everything else.
Move if you want to.
You have the authority to take in. It doesn't have to be, it has to be the reason that we no longer need your services.
Right.
You understand? I mean, like I said, that there's one of those deals. It would be great to be able to have that contract, say, hey, you're gonna stay here for a year or whatever else, but then it becomes a double-edged sword somehow. But like I said, being an at-will employer, you've got a pretty good control over what you need to do. That's the good thing about being.
I wish I had the payroll so that I could put it out in front of you now, but I'm 99% sure, and what you're concerned about, that this will not put anybody above what the staff is already making. All right, let's move. We're taking too much time here. Any further discussion? Call for a vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Get with me, let's try to get this worked out, so that we need to answer these questions.
Thank you.
We don't need to, act on this number 7 now, but I would like to hear some discussion from you folks. We got our insurance, fee check in, and we don't have your financial statement. Kim didn't get it all put in your packet, but our bank balance is the best it's been in a good while. That 300-something thousand that we just deposited sure was a godsend. Of course, we get that every year, the same time of year. But we're still in a deficit situation overall. And I'm telling you now, as I begin to look at the budget, of course, Eric last week said that for the department heads to begin look at things. We've got this down on the agenda here a little bit further. But have y'all looked at the comparisons of the millage rate from adjoining towns? Have you looked it over?
We just,
Mr. Johnson called and asked me a few questions, and I'm gonna give you a figure or two. We looked up several of our houses, and among us right here, some will, the annual ad valorem tax increase with one meal will amount to around maybe $12 for some people. Mine's about $40. I think Ms. Lopez is about 30. 2 or 3 more of you. So you're talking about anywhere from $12 or $15 a year up to well, I didn't go to some of the very larger houses, but I'd say more than the average size. $50 will be one meal will at the very most will cover, except for in rare cases now. So that's what you're talking about, that we're asking our individuals on their property, on homes, and I didn't get into commercial property. But we're talking about an increase of $30 or $40 per year. It's going to wind up giving us about another $80-something thousand, and Lord knows we need it. Go ahead.
I sat down and talked with Miss Tammy yesterday and everything. I went down and met with her for about an hour. And where we're at right now, over the last I reckon 2 years, we've had some money that was released that we could put back into the general fund with no problem and whatever else. Last year, I think it was $105,000 out of a sinking fund and everything. And I'm just gonna let you know, that took and bailed us out and everything the last couple of times. However, there's not another one to do this.
Santa Claus don't keep coming
Santa
out.
Claus, his bag is empty and it's gone. So now, for us to maintain, the thing about it is what we've not done and what I've seen by going back and looking over it, what I've seen over the last 4 years, the cost of everything we're trying to provide is continually going up. We have, however, been stagnant and kept everything where it was as far as millage rate and this, that, and the other. So instead of us taking and incrementally moving it over the last few years, we're now to a point where we're gonna have to move it regardless of whether we want to or not. Financially, if we don't, we're not gonna survive. And it may take more than one, it may take $1.5 million to move on, or possibly 2. And I know we look at some of these other ones where they're 2 and 5 and whatever else and stuff like that, but you've got to remember what they've got. They've got the taxes coming in from other industries and everything within the cities, and this is why their millage rate is so low. Nobody wants their taxes raised. I don't want mine raised, but we have to understand the cost of everything that we're supplying is going up. And it's just the world we live in. 20 years ago, whereas 6 mil, 7 mil might have been plenty, and we had, the city was in great shape. Well, 20 years down the road, 6, 7 mil ain't cutting. So I said, as much as I don't like it, or anybody else, and having talked to her and looked at it in black and white, we're not left with much of a choice. That's my.
When's the last time it was increased?
It was the first year I was on council, I think, we increased it 1 mil. And like I said, I think that was the first year I was on.
I think with the other things that we've done, and I've already been looking at it pretty hard, as you well know, With the other things that we've accomplished, I believe, I don't think it scares me when you start talking about more than a mill. I'm perfectly willing, and I look at it, the one mill should put us in a fairly solid situation if we'll hang on tight. And that's coming up soon. And we don't have to finish it now, but I appreciate your input, Eric. You said a mouthful, and that's good. All right. Yes, ma'am.
When you asked me to get this information together, I will tell you this, McCray Helena was one of the last ones that had a mill increase. And when they did that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she said they had to do it between 2 and 3. And they just did that last year.
Yeah, we made that garbage thing, we did, that's a godsend. Yeah, that thing is a godsend to us. Okay, let's go on, that's something we're gonna have to bite that, so, all right, Eric, you carried most of the load on this Dick's Wings, Yellow Jacket property thing last week. Have you talked with, I haven't heard a word from that man. I've seen him, I washed my car there a time or two, and he hadn't said a word to me.
Well, he came by and talked to me, what's today, Thursday? He came by and talked to me Tuesday, and he is still with the same, he wants the sewer lines replaced that are on his property, or the drain lines replaced that are on his property and everything, and he's very adamant about it. And I had talked with Natasha, and I spoke with you. You said you were going to continue to look at it and see, and Ken, did you get to look at it and whatever else? And I really want y'all's opinion, because like I said, sitting here looking at our work session and looking at our council meeting, it plainly, it's not in black, it's not a gray area anywhere. It plainly says in there, we will, and that's the only way he would sign the easement. We would replace those. I don't know where that leaves us at. That's why
I think it leaves us to be sued if we don't.
that's what I'm thinking, but I'm not an
Leave,
attorney.
what, I'm sorry.
Leaves us to be sued if we don't. I mean, that was essentially what we promised to do.
And I said, that's what I read in both the work session and in
Do we have
the,
that, do we have that contract here?
Yeah, the easement.
I got the easement and,
I didn't know, I didn't see that at all.
here's the work session where it's at right here.
Because you know now that we didn't use the easement that he signed. Part
Well,
of it, we did. We didn't use
Right, there's the.
We didn't use the part that he was really counting on to get to the end of it.
We had the drainage agreement here. We had access easement.
But we used part of it, that's true, but a lot of it we did not, we didn't go anywhere near his drainage.
That don't matter. We
At least, but.
that's the reason he signed it.
All right, show me that,
Here you read.
Whereas Yellow Jacket Car Wash LLC desires that prior to such cancellation and abandonment, that a portion of the existing drainage pipe be replaced as consideration with Yellow Jacket Car Wash, bring a new recorded drainage easement by the Platte City Council. It's the best economic interest of the city to remit such consideration to obtain a recorded drainage easement by Platte, the new drainage system, rather than obtain such easement through condemnation proceedings. Therefore, we agree, grants the city of Hazlehurst easement to enter fund lands to replace the drainage pipe. Upon completion of installation of said 24-inch drain pipe, city of Hazlehurst to repair any asphalt pavement damaged by the installation of said drain pipe, as well as that damaged by the installation of drain pipe through the permanent recorded easement. Now, we talked about what a cost it was going to be to the city to do that. And we said that the city could do most of the work itself, and it'd be an expense, but it'd be cheaper than having to condemn this to do this. So,
And
but
that's,
now here's the thing, and here again, the easement that we went back and got from him, most of it was on our right of way, and the easement that went to his ice machine and back over there was the one that he got quarreled about when it went across his property. And we didn't even use that. That easement, we did not, that he signed,
We got an easement for it, but we hadn't got it at the time.
but we didn't use it.
Doesn't matter, we've got an easement there. Plus, we had access easement, we were all over his property doing what we needed to do. If he hadn't signed that easement, y'all would have had to condemn, and we'd still be litigating over that.
Well, we were on the right of way.
You were all in his parking lot too.
Let's just make it right.
I think we need to do what we agreed to.
Let's just make it
If we
right.
made a mistake when we did it, we made a mistake. We told the man we'd do
We've
it.
got absolutely no business being out there in the middle of his property. We hadn't been out there, and the pipe's still there. He's got good drainage, and
That's beside the point.
all
The
right.
point is that we told him what we would do, and we need to stick to our word.
it was pertaining to the easement
I
across
understand
his
what you're saying.
property.
I understand.
That's right,
It was
but
not-
he said,
we didn't use it.
he said, I'm not gonna allow y'all on my property
That's right.
unless you replace this other for me.
We
And
did.
y'all debated about that, and y'all agreed to replace it.
We did.
Well, I didn't, but
Okay,
Well, we
June
did.
9th, June 9th, 2016, City Council Work Session. Item 10, easement at Diggs Wings. Attorney Smith, you helped us handle this. Attorney Smith still has the floor. He has said that he has Miss Ruby Hughes Fralick signed, as well as the owner of Diggs Wings and Grills, but he is still unable to get in contact with the owners of Omar's. So he mailed out a letter to the CEO today with a copy of the plat. He is hoping he will hear back from him. He has met with Mr. Sellers. He has agreed to sign the easement, but has a stipulation. He wants the city to fix the drainage pipe at the back of his property. Once the city fixes it, he will assume full ownership of the drain after we replace the existing pipe now. Attorney Smith has taken the liberty of fixing up an agreement for that. In the long run, this will be the most cost-effective way to handle this matter. Commissioner Griffin said, we're at the point we have to do this, we need this easement signed. That was the work session. June 16, 2016, City Council regular session. Item 10, discuss, approve, and vote easements, Diggs Wings location. Mayor Stone requested Attorney Smith cover the drainage easement near Diggs Wings with adjacent landowner Stanley Sellers and his company Yellow Jacket Car Wash LLC. Attorney Smith stated that Mr. Sellers is willing to sign an easement provided the city of Hazlehurst replaces existing old drain lines that are substantially on his property. Mr. Sellers will assume ownership of the new lines, and the city of Hazlehurst will have responsibility of maintenance. Mayor Stone also presented the bill from Hofstadter and Associates, thus so on and so forth. A motion was made by Commissioner Griffin to execute and approve the drainage easement covenant between the city of Hazlehurst and Yellow Jacket Car Wash LLC as presented. This motion was seconded by Commissioner Purser, Stone, Purser, Griffin, and Bloodworth, all in favor, and carried with an A. A motion was made by Commissioner Purser to approve the payment of the Hofstadter and Associates in
we got that.
May I make a motion to do it?
Yeah, but I do want to, if you'll indulge me just a little. The back of his lot was caved in. It was hazardous to his customers. It was hazardous to anybody, where there was all kind of erosion that he was talking about, and we did that. That's all new. We've got a new box and everything is there. That, his safety hazard, we fixed it, we did it. What he was talking about, it was a hazard to everybody.
That wasn't what he was talking about. He was talking about that other line that used to be the drain line to be dug up and replaced. That's what he was talking about.
He may have changed it then, but that's what I understood. Okay, we killed it, we worked it to death, let's get on with it. Make your motion,
I
John.
make a motion to repair the drainage line behind Yellow Jacket.
Okay, is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Purser. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. That's gonna be an expensive project, folks.
Mayor, did you vote or you abstain? I just didn't hear.
Hmm?
Did you vote or did you abstain?
I just abstained.
Abstain.
I don't know what that's gonna cost, but it's gonna be several $1,000s now. I never visualized that from the very beginning, but at any rate, I've missed seeing a lot of things. All right, let's go on to the next item. Okay, who put this on the 350 ton of asphalt?
Davis Street.
Oh, Davis Street's next, okay, I'm trying to skip one. Go ahead with that one.
All right, where are we at and what do we need to do?
You just need to vote to close it. It's already been run in the paper. The letters have already been sent to the landowners. You just need to vote to close it.
We need to vote to close Davis Street. Okay, I make a motion that we vote to close Davis Street, the short session that is right behind Jerry Davis's and butts up to Ronald Cobb's land.
Second.
Once we close it, y'all attorneys help us now, do we have to deal the adjoining owners right away to the center of the street? This landowner gets this one, or if they got both sides, they can get all of it, but
You need to assign a value to it. It can be whatever y'all value at. If it has no value, you can say it's worth $1. But you have that, you just need to determine what that value is to the city. And as the adjoining landowners, they have the first opportunity to purchase.
so the first thing we got to do then is do a survey and survey the street and determine if both sides has got the same owner, then they'll get all of it. But when you've got separate owners each side, you've got to survey the center line, and it's got to be surveyed first now. This or does it? We can close the street.
Yeah, you go ahead and close it.
We can close the
Yeah.
street.
Close the street.
Okay, we can do that right here now.
Yes.
But then before it's disposed of, we've got to have a survey.
Yes.
All right, the motion is made that we close the street, is that correct?
Yes,
And
sir.
seconded by you, Mr. Purser?
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for vote. All in favor of closing Davis Street, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Davis Street is closed. Now, to dispose of it, you're gonna have to have a survey. All right, now then, we're at the, is this your item too, Eric?
No, this is mine.
Yours?
The mayor and I met the other day, and he was explaining to me about we had 350 tons left over. Would you just explain it to everybody so everybody will know? That's all I want, and we make a decision on it.
Okay, when we got through paving this TIA, Transportation Investment Act, that we passed in our district, and we get so much money coming in over a 10-year period. And at any rate, we dealt with our second tier of streets, which was Williams Street, North Williams, MLK, Burton Street, and Hester Street. The contractor bid it, did the job, went out and paved all that area. And when he got through with the estimate of the contract that he had bid there and what was allowed, he had all this excess tonnage left. He called me, said, "Bane, y'all got a lot of extra tonnage y'all need to use somewhere." This law requires that once these streets are named and numbered, that the material has to be used on those streets. So I called the head director in Atlanta, which I know personally, and told him the circumstances. He said, "Bane, did y'all go on each adjoining street, did you lap over and do the edges and all?" I said, "No, well, I don't think maybe we did." I called Chad Hofstetter. Chad came down and got in my truck or car or whatever I was driving that day and looked at it, and we went street by street at every cross street all over these streets, and we found places where we can take and apply and use this asphalt. I said, "Okay, now let me ask you this. If I use it and it's a little rough place, if I go beyond the right of way and use it here and there, a place or two along the area, how tight are you going to have?" And he said, "Bane, do the job, take care of what you're going to do. I'm not going to come look at it, nobody else is. Get with your engineer and your contractor and use the asphalt." So Chad and I got busy and looked at it, and we still had some left. Everywhere we could go and fix a rough street, we still had some left. We promised the folks at the Methodist Church in Hazlehurst and the landowners in that area, I know for 20 years, the city owns an alley in there. And Hofstetter and Joey hires the contractor, and Allison in Atlanta has always told me that using this asphalt, put it where we thought it should go. and everything would be fine, and I will pave that alley with the remaining.
Do we own that alley?
We do. And we're having to maintain it.
Well, let me just correct one thing. I don't know none of us were on the council 20 years ago. Were you on there 20 years ago?
I was chairman of the trustees of the.
But I'm talking about
Yeah.
council. Well, I remember this issue came up. I wasn't on the council, but I was in the audience or the other places. And I remember it came up, and there was, at that time, Wyatt Spann owned the house that is now owned by the church. Remember, that's back behind there. And he did not want it paved, because he didn't want to have people coming by in his back door. You know, he's got a front, and out back. So, and this is before I was ever on the council. So they just kind of, I think Buddy was the mayor then, Buddy Spann. And so, I don't know, I've never heard, I go to the Methodist Church, I've never heard of this, that we promised that. And here's my feeling. I'm not against paving that out, but we've got some streets out here that need to be resurfaced. And I think we owe it to them before we pave that out. And I pointed out to the mayor of Harris Street, was that the name of it?
That's gonna be paving the same project. I haven't got to that.
Well,
Yeah,
that's,
it's gonna be the same.
I don't know that.
Well,
And then we didn't make a decision about it.
Well, I
That's
just
what
got
I'm
with
saying.
Joey today, and he said that, and we had enough to do that as well.
Harris, you know, you asked us, Mayor, to ride around and I rode around every street in the Ward 2. That is the worst street in the second ward, and I don't want to do anything with that asphalt before we pave that street. Those people
Well, Harris
deserve
Street,
it.
Harris
They're
Street,
taxpayers.
we looked at it today, and that's gonna be added in.
Okay. I want to tell you, I'm telling you, those people got a mess they're driving on over there.
But now, we do own that alley. Before we take and go put anything down there, we own it. I mean, do
Absolutely.
we know that?
I know that, somebody told, Eric, I think you told me that Jeff said he thought that the city needed all the alleys.
Right.
And I remember I was at the city council meeting, this has been years ago. And, you know, they used to have these alleys back, 50 years ago for fire lanes, for picking up trash. They used to go, behind people's house and pick up, and they needed these alleys. And there was a time when they closed a bunch of alleys.
I surveyed,
Mostly were off North Tallahassee Street, several of them, but I don't think that was one of them.
I surveyed.
I don't think that was one of them.
The one over there behind, Buck Elder's office, all that was surveyed in, on, North Williams, back behind Oak Moogie Outdoors, whatever that is, all of that's been done. I've surveyed a bunch of them.
Okay, and I say all that to tell you this, Eric, I'm not saying that was not included, but I didn't think it was
Oh, I
included.
said,
That's all I'm saying.
I don't know.
I don't
just
know.
asked a question. I want to know, because if it's not ours, we ain't got no business paying.
I agree.
I mean, that's why I want to know, is it ours or not, before we take and go dumping asphalt on it. Because, I mean, if we start doing that, it ain't ours, and then we're Tom, Dick, and Harry's gonna want the driveway paved.
We do have a motor grader now, but the last time that we came in there, that alley was just full of holes and water, and folks having to go through their biggest mess you've ever seen. And it's for us to mean, it's a dirt street, people, I guarantee you, Ms. Tammy was here, all of her customers coming out of there. Mr. Trowell and his folks parked in the back. We own the Spann house now in the driveway. The only driveway to it is in the back, and it's full of water there. If there's a place
Well,
that's.
it's not full now since the county went in there and did work.
Yeah, but
It's much better than it was years ago.
When it rains, well, we graded it a little too, but when it rains, that's now got it full of water. It needs some attention, but anyway, I could care less.
I just would like to make sure that Ed Wilson and Marcus, and of course you own property over there, we're gonna make sure all the property owners are okay with it.
Well, the church is all on one side completely now. The church is on one side.
There's other, and I don't wanna do something that's gonna upset them without notifying them. That's all. Just, let's talk to Ed Wilson and Marcus, and that's the only ones left, I think. Is that right?
You would think that they would want it paid.
Well, if they want people driving in their backyard, you know, why Spann didn't want it paid, I mean, I don't know. I just want to make sure they're okay.
It's a busy thing, it's dirt, we don't have any dirt streets in the city of Hazlehurst, but we got a dirt street there we have to maintain.
Well, actually, it's not a street, it's an alley.
Well,
There's not room for two cars to go through it, so I just would like to make sure that the adjoining landowners don't have, and I don't think that's a problem. To just ask them, make sure it's okay with them.
Okay, would you get in touch with them?
Well, I can if you want me
Okay,
to.
yeah, I'd
Sure,
like for you.
I don't have.
All right, you report back the next meeting, wait a minute now, what we gonna do now? I've got a contractor fixing to start, putting asphalt down here in the next few days, and I better call Joey and tell him to hold off.
Is there enough asphalt to pave Harris Street in the alley?
Yes, sir.
I don't think there's
How many-
I mean,
How many tons does it take how far does a ton go?
He had enough left to pave, he told me it'd go over 1,200, between 12 and 1,300 feet.
All right, I think that, I would say, this is just a guess, Harris Street's just a block, so.
It's 300.
Yeah, I was gonna say at the high end, 500.
And the alley is not.
4 to 500.
Is paved, is concrete part of the way, so it's probably 4, so that's 7. Now we've got another 500 feet, we're gonna use it, but whatever you wanna do, I can, whatever.
I have a driveway.
You don't live in the city.
All right, did we, where
All right,
are we in this? I don't even know where we are.
I'm ready to make a motion.
All right.
And I don't care either.
Keep
Mayor
in mind-
said he doesn't care, I don't care. I don't care whether paper, we don't care. It doesn't really matter to me. I make a motion that, I be authorized to check with, the adjoining landowners who, and I wanna make sure there's Ed Wilson and Marcus Trout, that's only 2, right?
And me.
And Bain's in favor of it. And if they agree to it, then I will contact the mayor and he can proceed with paying after Hester Street is resurfaced. Harris Street. I'm sorry, Harris Street.
I'll second his motion.
Okay, thank you.
Got a motion made and seconded that Mr. Purser consult with the landowners along this notorious alley and see if they want the street, the alley paved. If they do, he's going to notify me to get in touch with our contractor and proceed with Harris and the alley. Is there any further discussion?
Harris first, then the alley.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Purser, you need to get in touch with me as soon as you can.
It will, tomorrow morning.
We've been all over town looking at all this stuff and we're fixing to move now, so it's urgent.
I'll get in touch with them tomorrow morning.
All right. We've got bids to re-roof. You remember, Charles Bosman's not gonna be, is notified me earlier, he's not here, but we've got bids in your packet. He was gonna do a partial job, and I think we all concurred that it needed to be a full roof job. It's $22,000. I entertain a motion relative to this project. Mr. Johnson moves that we accept the low bid on the full roof job. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Griffin. Any further discussion?
Yes, I'd like to make, I was at that meeting when Charles went to the county and asked them about helping share the cost.
Yeah.
And he said they were receptive, but I just would like to, I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I'd like to see them consider helping us. And I don't know how we should do it.
Well,
I
he
guess
said-
we can go ahead and approve it, and then if they turn us down, we're just out of luck.
Well, Charles tells me that they are, that they've already told him that they were going to.
No, they didn't. I was at the meeting. They said, you find out what the bids are, and then we'll meet and we'll decide what we can do. And if we have to have a call meeting, we'll do it. That's what they said.
Okay, do we want to, did we get a motion? Yes.
Isn't that right? You were at the meeting.
We got a motion made in a second that we approve the 22,000. So you want to amend that contingent upon the county participating?
No, I think we can ask them if they won't help us, then we'll make a note of it. I mean, it's gotta be done. If we have to do it ourselves, if we wait around on help, we're not gonna get it done.
Boy, we're butchered everything we can take a hold of tonight. Boy, I think we need to go out and have us a drink or something. All right, motion's made and seconded that we approve the low bid of $22,000. To re-roof the fire, the number one fire station. Any further discussion? Please don't. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Let's go with that.
I made my point.
Mr. Griffin brought this out last time, and we've got 3 of our supervisors here, Bland and Cody and Chief Williams. It's time to begin to begin to get your budgets prepared. And while we're doing this, Ken and I are going to get together on this salary situation. I think we need to work with you also too, and try to put a comprehensive package before the council as soon as we can with this budget. Anything else, Eric?
No, like I said, just we got time is on us and everything. Today is the 20th. We got about 10 days to get it right. So
Thank you, buddy. These standard items, 13, 14, and 15, entertain a motion that we approve it. Mr. Johnson moved that we approve 13, 14, and 15. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Purser. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried. The Relay for Life wants to use the Civic Center on May the 16th for the Life Survivor Dinner. Entertain a motion. We approve the request.
Approve the request at no charge. I'll make the motion, no charge, right?
Aye.
Okay.
Mr. Purser made the motion that we approve the request at no charge. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, also now while we're on that Civic Center, and when we had our Christmas, I want that Civic Center used. We own it. It's a nice facility. And I insisted that we have our Christmas party out there, and then another occasion that we had out there, I wanted it used too. And it was used in both cases. And gentlemen, I had to get out and direct cars down past the putting green onto number 9 green to park cars. There was no place to park there. On 2 occasions since then, we've leased that place. And the last time I went out there was this Saturday. The golf course employees called me, Mayor, these folks out here raising sand, they got an event coming up, and we've got a golf course full of players, and we don't have any places for the park, and they don't know what to do. Well, I went out and helped them get out on the road, safely park some cars and all. And so at any rate, I mentioned this to Tommy while I was talking to him about this alley. We've got 2 tennis courts out there that we're not using. One is absolutely level in front of that place and will put us a lot more cars, and there's some places beyond it. And I have gone ahead and got the prisoners taking the wire off the tennis court, and we fixed to have some room to park some cars out there if y'all don't stop me. Now, if you want to stop me, get at it.
No, I need to figure it out.
No, you can't have it.
When the county had a golf course, they fixed up those courts and nobody would play on them because I don't play tennis. They said the back,
you can't.
There's not enough room.
No, there's no room.
And the other one, the one that's down low, it's unlevel. Nobody's ever played on that. I mean, they built that thing and then and again, I don't play tennis, but nobody would play on it. So I don't think.
I entertain a motion that y'all approve the mayor's decision to use the top tennis court for a parking lot.
So moved.
Mr. Burns made the motion, Mr. Blood was second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I've never had such time getting through stuff. Any citizen comments? Thank you. Any commissioners' comments?
Yeah, I do.
Make it quick.
If you're in a hurry, you can go and leave, we'll be out. Last week, I took and told y'all that the District 9 meeting was going to be April the 27th. That's wrong. It is May the 4th at 6:30 p.m. at the Southside Baptist Church Family Life Center. We'll be at 6:30. And Miss Bernice has a paper here that would like for y'all to sign if you're, put your name down or who's gonna attend and everything from the council and whatever. Like I said, this is our spring district meeting, everything. This will be my last hoorah as the president and everything else, and then we'll take and have a new one coming in. We should have a vote sheet next month and everything for possible, for the third vice president and everything. Nick Harris and Jessup will roll up and be the president of District 9 next year. And so like I said, hope for everybody to come.
I can sign it for you.
Okay, thank you, Eric. We'll, folks are signing up down here. Anybody else, any of the other commissioners?
No, thank you. As long as I got Harris Street paid, I'm
I'm gonna remind you of that.
While I'm not a commissioner, Mayor, I do want to let the council know that the administrative professional luncheon is going to be Wednesday, April the 26th at the First Baptist Church Social Hall. And I will be purchasing tickets for the ladies in my office as well as myself. If some of you commissioners would like to attend with us, please let me know before the 21st so that y'all may attend this event with us and enjoy a reverse beauty pageant and a nice meal.
Anything, anybody else?
We don't have to participate in reverse beauty pageant.
No, sir, I won't do that.
Council,
I don't think it is.
council, we were going to contact some people on behalf of some projects. Has anybody made any contacts? Mr. Purser?
Oh, I'm sorry, what? Refresh my memory?
Oh, you're talking about on our, from our session last week? I spoke with him yesterday, but we didn't get a chance to take and converse about our,
I hadn't had a chance to.
I will first of the week.
I'll talk to him tomorrow. Make them know that.
Okay, anything else? Do we need, I don't know of any reason we need to go into executive session.
Yes, we do. We got a real estate issue. We got a,
Oh, you do have something on that? Okay.
All right, there's a personnel issue too.
All right, also, and you do have it, listen, the, Ms. Bonnie Hewlett brought these aprons, and they're in front of you some time ago, and read that card, please.
On behalf of the officers and directors of the Hazlehurst Jeff Davis County Chamber of Commerce, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your generous sponsorship of this year's cook-off. Your support has helped make this event the best yet. We hope we represented your business well in our promotion of the 2017 Georgia State Cook-Off. Thank you, Bonnie Hewlett, Executive Director.
She asked that we deliver these to you, and we have delivered them as she requested. All right, I entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing real estate and personnel. Mr. Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Griffin. All in favor say aye. Aye. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back shortly.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let me know when you're ready. Ms. Bernice is on vacation.
No, I had that last Thursday and Friday. I'm fixing to be what?
While she's trying to get this thing ready, I've got with Jonathan Graham, our IT person, and we are going to move this thing up here in a place that will be more convenient, so she won't have to stand on her head down here to try to get this thing working. So we're working on that too. So when it comes up, and spends some money, you may have to approve it.
Natasha, leave your affidavit for this, but keep the minutes.
Let me know when you get ready, dear.
Y'all work so bad. Go.
Okay, entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we come back from executive session.
Mr.
to regular
Greaves.
session.
Mr. Gregory made a motion, we come back in section, out of executive session, back in the regular. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Johnson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're back in regular session. Mr. Eric, why don't you give us a report on our executive session?
On a report of executive session, there's no action taken on personnel or real estate at this time.
I entertain a motion, Mr. Johnson.
So move.
Mr. Johnson moves that we adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bloodworth, I believe. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good night.